The University of New Mexico is facing a $7.5 million budget shortfall. The athletic department alone is $1.5 million over budget.
Yeah, 4 Investigates learned when it comes to dining and entertainment, the Lobo athletic director is the second biggest spender in the Mountain West Conference. Investigative reporter Jen French is here to tell us what he's been charging. Jen.
Tessa and Tom, just last school year, athletic director Paul Krebs charged $3,456 just for 8 meals. He spent $1,000 more than UNM President Robert Frank, who bought 54 meals with donors, department heads, and public officials for the year.
A superhero breakfast for UNM student Santana Ortiz isn't something she spends a lot of money on. At least not since UNM raised its tuition to make up for a $7.5 million budget shortfall.
That's a good chunk of my rent.
4 Investigates wanted to know what UNM was spending its money on. So we obtained university credit card expenditures for the top administrators and reviewed nearly 100 transactions. 3 meals stood out because of their price tag. Last April, at the university's expense, athletic director Paul Krebs charged $1,100 at Vernon's Speakeasy in Los Ranchos, New Mexico, to host a dinner for himself and 8 others. They ate brie, boneless ribeye, fillets, and lobster, and left a $241 tip.
Let me play among the stars.
In March, Krebs spent $1,300 university dollars at the Chinese restaurant Wing Lei in Las Vegas for the governor and a group of donors. A few days later, he spent $437.68 on dinner for 12 at the Albuquerque Country Club with the new women's basketball coach. The receipt shows prime rib and crab. 4 Investigates requested an interview with Paul Krebs. Instead, the university let us interview Executive Vice President for Administration David Harris, who signed off on the credit card expenses.
Who pays for that?
The budgets. The budgets where the procurement occurs are charged with those expenditures.
According to this expense report, David Harris attended Paul Krebs' $1,300 dinner in Las Vegas.
I know you cannot speak on behalf of Paul Krebs, but there's one charge where you were in attendance at the dinner, a $1,300 charge for dinner with the governor. Explain that.
I'm not going to explain that. I think you've been told that I'm not the person who's going to respond to that, and this interview is concluded. It's out of bounds. I'm not the person.
We can't ask about a dinner.
No, I'm not going
that
to.
You were in attendance at?
I was in attendance, and I think those records have been transmitted to you.
After our interview with David Harris, Paul Krebs agreed to sit down with us.
Was the dinner worth it?
Oh, absolutely.
Krebs tells us it's necessary to schmooze big university donors.
Do you think these donors would still donate if they were not taken out?
I think if you take a look at fundraising and cultivation, it's very important to have relationships, strong personal relationships.
So 4 Investigates took a look at similar spending by other Mountain West athletic directors. Of the 7 universities that responded, Krebs was the second highest annual spender, behind UNLV. And the University of Hawaii told us their athletic director isn't allowed to use any public money at all for donor dinners. Even so, an internal UNM audit concluded there was nothing questionable about the way Krebs used his university credit card.
Really?
Meanwhile,
I like them. They have cinnamon.
Santana plans on eating cheap cereal.
That's exciting.
To make room for her rising tuition.
4 Investigates found some Mountain West schools fund donor activities solely with private foundation money. Our story focuses on the public money put up by taxpayers and students. If you want to see how all of this stacks up, we've posted the spending information for the other Mountain West schools on our website. KOB Investigates.